technologies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100+ authorized training partners and 50+ universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000+ members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100+ globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100+ global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500+ multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100+ authorized training partners and 50+ universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000+ members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100+ globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are joining from. My name is Preetam. I am going to be your host so we can start with the session. Please allow me a minute. I hope you all can see my screen, and if you need any assistance during the session, feel free to reach out to me over the chat box, and I'll make sure that I'll be taking care of it. So a warm welcome to you all to Global Skill Development Council Studio, Applied Intelligence, Turning Generative and Agentic AI into Real Business Impact, with a theme that is explore how generative and agentic AI drive real business impact, learn to design AI agents, integrate AI workflows, and automate operations with GSDC. So as you all know, we have this incredible panel of speaker aligned for this entire series, which was scheduled from 17 till 21st November. So today we'll be having the last session, and for that we'll be having Jayant with us. And before I could hand over the session to him, I would like to quickly introduce our hosting organization, GSDC. We're known as Global Skill Development Council. We are vendor agnostic, vendor neutral. We are globally recognized certification body, and we're accredited by ABICB. We do have 100 plus certification portfolio with us, and we have certified more than 250,000 professionals worldwide. We have 500 SMEs. Those are subject matter experts, our industry experts. They work with us closely to design our deliverables, and also they're affiliates from top universities like Harvard, Stanford, and MIT. We are associated with 1,000 multinational corporates and 500 Fortune companies and 50 plus universities across the globe. And very proud thing to share that we do have 100 plus authorized training partner across the globe. We have partner in Asia, Africa, Canada, America, and many other countries. So I would love to thank you those who have joined us through our training partner channel. In case if you're looking for any training program for yourself, feel free to reach out to our training partner. I'll share the contact details in the chat box. In case if you are looking for any training program, and in case if you want to have an inquiry about it, feel free to reach out to them. A special thanks to our official media partner, World Press Hub, for covering all our events and press releases. So I would love to quickly introduce a new thing that GSDC has introduced earlier. So we are providing 100 plus live sessions each month, which is led by global experts. So you'll be getting this session under GSDC AI Studio. So here you'll be getting 4 daily session, which is 45 minutes of impactful session led by global expert. This is the platform where you can get this opportunity to learn directly from the experts from around the world, AI experts, AI leaders. And the concept that you learn, you can apply that concept immediately, and whatever your questions, your doubts will be resolved instantly, because we'll be providing platform like that. And also this training is aligned with the industry standards for job ready skills. How you can access this? You can start learning right away with 30 days free access, where you will be getting 80 plus live session in that particular month and full access to GSDC AI Studio. The next step is that you can opt out GSDC lifelong membership with $109, where you'll be GST Studio full access, free GSTC membership while improver. The next step is that you can opt out for GSTC certification lifetime membership with $100, where you will be getting access for GSTC certification, all benefits of lifetime membership, personalized coaching, capstone project plus AI tools, and GSTC Copilot. You can get in touch with a learning advisor to get more information regarding the GSTC AI Studio. I'll share the contact details shortly in the chat box. And our current certification portfolio, as I mentioned, that we do have 100 plus certification portfolio that includes certification on L&D and HR, Gen AI, Agentic AI, emerging technologies, ISO related certification, which includes lead auditor and implementer, project management, PMO, agile DevOps, SRE, cyber security, and digital transformation. So in case if you're looking for any of the certification in order to upskill yourself or to stay industry relevant, feel free to reach out to a learning advisor to get more information regarding this certification, and you can check our website, which is www.gsdcouncil.org, to get more information and to check all the offerings that GSDC has for all of you. So without any further delay, I would love to quickly introduce our today's speaker, Jayant Dodla. He's an advanced manufacturing engineer manager at Aztec, and he'll be taking us through the topic that is generative AI for operations. Explore how generative AI is revolutionizing operations by automating routine tasks and enabling meaningful higher value activities. Looks like very interesting topic. I would love to quickly tell you all more about Jayant. So Jayant is advanced manufacturing engineer manager at Aztec, as I informed. So industries where he leads corporate initiatives in AI driven process optimization, predictive maintenance, and industry 4.0 integration. With over a decade of experience across automotive and heavy equipment manufacturing, including leadership roles at BWI Group and Suda USA. He specializes in merging engineering, analytics, and operations to drive measurable performance gains. Jayant holds a master's in mechanical engineering from Bradley University, and he's a Six Sigma green belt. We are delighted to have you, Jayant, again at the GSDC for another session. A warm welcome to you, and you can have the handover of the virtual mic now. Thank you so much.
Hi guys. Thank you, Preetham. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, let's start with sharing my screen here. Okay. All right, thank you, Preetham. Thank you for introducing me. It's an honor to be participating in this event and talking about how AI can revolutionize industries across various manufacturing and operational disciplines, right? One of the key takeaways I want to talk about is how can we use AI not just as a chatbot or a knowledge base or a repository outside of the industry, but how can we actually use it and put it to a P&L impact, right? How can we use this to make a P&L impact in operations, in manufacturing, in service, so customer service, and all other industries that are serving the end users like us people, right? So let's dive into the topic itself. So why are we talking about operations, right? Operations at this point, manufacturing in general is the gear, right? The major gear in economics across global industries. It makes sense. Manufacturing is where we make our mobile phones, cars, bikes, whatever we use in our day-to-day lives. That's where food packaging happens, everything. How is manufacturing doing at this day and time? Right now, we are working through demand swings purely because of tariffs, supply risks, because of logistical constraints from moving free trade across the borders. We are working through energy costs. We are working through skill gaps because we are having highly skilled, highly experienced people starting to retire. There's a study out there that talks about the gap between the ratio gap between the mentor versus the newly hired individuals. There are more fresh candidates in the industry than there are number of experienced people that can actually mentor and bridge that gap, put that discipline back in, put that age-old knowledge back into the world. This is causing hiring challenges. This is causing, let's say, not intellectual challenges. It's more on how do we transfer that experience rather than book knowledge onto the people, right? We're talking about data inflation or data exhaustion, where we have tons of sensors, right? One of the topics I spoke to last time was how do we use AI in predictive maintenance, and I said we can use sensors like current sensors, heat mapping sensors, vibration sensors to capture how a machine is performing. These sensors pull out in milliseconds, right? They're putting out information every millisecond. That's data exhaustion if you don't have the right tools to use it. MES systems is where you get that data from. ERPs are getting over bloated with too much data data sets, graphs, all this beautiful stuff visually, but overwhelmingly informational, right? So how do we make all of these? One of the biggest turning point in the current state industry is how can we be sustainable, right? That's why electric cars are coming out, hybrids, PHEVs, all of these are coming out. So how do we make the entire industry sustainable, cheaper, safer, faster, to cater to the outgrowing population that's happening across the globe? So that's where AI comes in, right? Gen AI in specific comes in. So we need to start migrating away from Excel sheets. I mean, let's talk about it, right? We, out of our own practices from our day-to-day lives and how we do things, we download this data from Power BIs, all of this, put this into an Excel file again and say, all right, let's find patterns in here, right? All of this is adding bloated workload into day-to-day life of an engineer, to an executive, to a leader or operations leader, operations manager, right? Any role you pick who's dealing with data. All of these, we are to a point where we are hitting ceilings to our own creativity as professionals out here trying to solve problems and make the industry run faster, safer, cheaper, and sustainably. So let's see how we can use AI in operations, right? What do you mean by operations, right? You're talking about a chatbot or a friend on your mobile phone, your tablet, or your PC that can talk to you, that can interpret data, that can look at images and say, yep, I can understand this image, and I can understand the foreground, subject, the background. It can understand codes, tables that you give it. So in simple terms, a human being, a digital entity, typically on a piece of electronic device that can interpret data and communicate with you intellectually, right? So how does this happen, right? It can. So how does this happen? The idea is you have this AI system layered over your MES, CMMS, ERP systems that has access to your SOPs, your layouts, your downtime data, OE data, ticketing tools, quality information, your past 8Ds, and all this stuff. So the way I see using generative AI in operational terms is you take up your phone, you start typing in, hey, what's my OEE currently on, so let's say cell A01. It might come back and say, I'll just walk you through the conversation, right? I'll start typing in, all right, what's my OEE on this operation A01? It says, hey Jay, the OE looks like it's in the 65-70%, and it's actually dropping down. Okay, why is it dropping down? What do you mean by dropping down? In the last 2024, you were averaging 80-85%. Now you're averaging in the low 75-80%. Okay, why is that? What in the OEE, on the three legs of the OEE, is it impacting? It will come back and say, all right, the impact is on the availability of the equipment. Okay, what's happening with the equipment? Can you be a little bit more specific? Okay, it can then go back through the TPM process, right? The sensor data that it has access to through the MES and CMMS systems, and say, looks like this bearing on this shaft on this CNC process is actually going to go out because I see a spikes in vibrations every so often at a right pattern. So maybe that's what's causing this lower availability of the equipment. So in simple terms, it's allowing you to have a 5-minute conversation to find your biggest impact you can make in your industry, in your plant, in your facility, to keep your functionality or output, throughput of your process as high as possible, right? That's the intent. The intent of generative AI, something that's a digital entity again on your PC or a phone, where you can talk to it in natural language, get the information you need to get, and go out and do your own root cause analysis, and then come back to it and say, hey, I found the problem, you were right. The bearing was going out. I dug a little deeper and found out that the bearing was going out because the chuck was out of balance, because I had a crash at some point, and so on, right? The key point here is not to rely on AI to do your root cause analysis. It can see the data we can feed it, but it cannot see the things we see when we are out on the process doing Gemba walks. So in simple terms, AI is to streamline your thought process, your day-to-day activities. That's how I want to use AI in operation terms, right? There you go. So the other way to use AI is going back to our conversation previously, what we did here, right? What did we do with AI? We, instead of going out, or let's say not the right way to do it, but instead of sitting down with a bunch of data sets, looking at everything like, starting with why is my OE down, going out and investigating with operators, sifting through maintenance records, sifting through manuals and all of this information. We sat there for 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, and asked the right questions to lead us to why is my OE down. Then it pointed us in a focused direction where we can go there, look at the process, do our root cause, and do a problem-solving activity, maybe with maintenance or ourselves as manufacturing engineers or whoever you are in the audience, right? So what we did here is we reduced the amount of wasteful but necessary work, right? Finding patterns, doing the groundwork of finding what the problem is not necessary. It is useful, but all of this can be eliminated by using the right tools. To me, that's where the AI comes in place. You can use this tool, the generative AI, to let it condense the amount, a day's worth of work into a 5-minute question and answer session or a conversation with this digital entity, and spend the remaining 24 and a half or 8.5 hours, whatever you have in the day, actually working on solving the problem, right? That's one way to look at it. The other possibility of using AI in operations is, let's say, writing SOPs. How do you go about how do you go about using AI, right? One of the best use of AI I've seen so far, I think I'll be using it at my own facility here at Aztec, is use AI to do video analysis of time studies, generate SOPs, your work instructions, standard works, identify value add, non-value add, necessary but not non-value added activity, and streamline your process constantly. So one of the ideas I'm working on right now is how can I not only take AI to do a sample size video analysis, but tie it into an overhead camera or something that can constantly monitor the process and show me how my value add and non-value add is trending. I mean, when it comes to human beings, right? It's not robots. You will have a fluctuation in this value add and non-value add. The idea is to keep that fluctuation of standard deviation as low as possible to increase your throughput. So those are some of the tools you can use with AI in making your life easier, to increasing your process throughput and actually making an impact on your P&L sheets. So the problem right now with this, we are talking beautiful things, right? We are talking revolutionary things. But the problem with this entire AI situation in this current state is AI has been around for almost 11 years. The thought process of AI, NVIDIA especially, has been working on this for 15 years, even before we were thinking about it, right? We were thinking machine learning, we were thinking RAP, but NVIDIA was thinking AI. And 2022, 2021 hit, ChatGPT came into light, and it's skyrocketed, right? In 3 years, we are seeing AI that is actually useful, actually implementable, actually adoptable. But the speed at which it got mature and how the companies and the industries are actually adopting to it is not the same. There's a light years gap between them. For example, let's look at the data that one of the McKinsey studies put out, right? The potential in the world where AI can actually make an impact is anywhere between 2.6 to 4.4 trillion dollars. That's huge, right? But the adoption itself is only about 11%. That's $480 billion, out of which the true impact, the true P&L impact is only at $13 billion. Just think about the ratio, right? It's tiny. It's really tiny. Now, what are those 3%? Who are those 3% people who are actually, or companies who are actually making use of it to make a EBITDA impact, right? These guys are less than 11%, or let's say a handful of leaders in the world, and we'll get through those handful of leaders in the case studies in the future, in the next slides, on how they're using it. In simple terms, AI can be used in various aspects: manufacturing, service. When I say service, actually service of equipment, cars, your manufacturing equipment, your like my company does, asphalt and concrete batch plants. We can use AI to help us understand, hey, what does my customer need next? What's going to fail in my product I provided them? Or we can use it to go back to our previous slides and say, where can AI help me reduce the time I spent on paperwork and actually let it do the paperwork? I go out there and get the actual physical job done. So that's the adoption that's still missing, and many people are failing to see it. And why is that? It's not the application itself, the integration itself, or sorry, it's not the kind of model you're using. You could be using AWS systems, you could be using GPT, Retrocausal, Dozuki, whatever that's out there. It's the actual integration. There are less than 5% of the people out there, out of this adoption, that are actually putting it to use for a P&L impact. Most of these companies are dependent on the standard version of the Copilot that Microsoft offers, that are looking at, hey, summarize my email, summarize this Teams meeting, summarize this, summarize that. They're not actually using, Copilot is not the right tool to use it in manufacturing, in my perspective, but they're not actually using the tools that are out there that can actually make an impact in P&L. So it's more on finding the right discipline or field in your own industry and integrating it is what the gap is right now, right? So let's look at how Gen AI can be used across the entire end-to-end of an industry, right? Right now, how does a company work? How does an industry actually work? Industry starts their day with, or simple as IOP process, right? You plan your process, you plan what you need, you plan what you're going to do in the next 1 year, 3 years, or 4 years to cater to your audience. Then you start making based on what your audience needs. You start manufacturing or making these solutions or products. You start delivering them, and then you start supporting them over their life cycle. How can we use AI in every aspect of this? In simple terms, how can I use AI from start all the way to the finish and loop back to start again as a feedback loop? In simple terms, one of the things we touched on the very first slides is inconsistency in demand forecasting. the inconsistency is coming from the current world economics, right? There are tariffs floating around. People are on the edge of, hey, when is this next tariff going to hit me, or how is that going to impact the end user? How is that going to impact? You might say I'm going to tariff or tax a car that I'm importing by 80%. What does that 80% mean? Is that not every car is made completely out of the country, right? Partially, you might be assembling 80% of the product in the country. 20% of the components coming out might be how. So, in simple terms, how does that impact? For a human being to understand everything across all world economics, summarize everything into a proper and 100% accurate, let's say 95% accurate information, and then make the right calculation without a standard deviation of error, it's pretty difficult. But let's use AI. AI is a computing knowledge, right? A computing system. Push in the data it needs. Train it to look at everything and anything that's available to your forecasting tools and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is what my audience needs. But help me understand how I can plan capacity, or help me plan my capacity, right? So Oracle right now is working on a system where they are using AI to simulate their capacity, their audiences or their customers' capacity plans and so on, so that they have less inventory carrying costs and more throughput they can make without blocking up most of their finances in inventory, right? The next comes the make part of it. So we spoke about root cause analysis, Kaizens, and so on. How else can I use AI? You can use AI in quality systems, predictive maintenance. You can use AI in how to write work instructions, SOPs. It can set and monitor your SPC and set your standard control documents or so on. Or how often do you check a process or a product to make sure you're making the product with less defects? How can you then manage your inventory, finished goods, and how to deliver it right? How does your logistics need to look like? Where should be your annex locations within the country? How do you move it from one place to the other? What's the right batch sizing to get the right impact on your logistics cost and so on? Right? And then you planned, you made, you delivered, and then now comes the service support. So one of the key things AI is revolutionizing in service and support is self-service, and also providing agents where you're getting to the root, you're getting your customer the solution within the first few minutes of the call. So one of the KPIs that service industry looks at is the time it takes to resolve a call and how many repetitive calls am I getting from the same customer for the same product. So the AI, Gen AI, is being used in condensing those, lowering those, so that the customer is less frustrated, is not waiting on a call for 30, 40 minutes to resolve a simple solution or finding the spare parts that they need. So one of the case studies, so let's start about a few case studies, right? At this point, we spoke a lot about what Gen AI is, how can it impact various industries and so on. Let's look at how some of these 3% or less than 5% of the industries that actually implemented or using it, and what made the difference for them. What was the difference? So Georgia Pacific is a packaging industry. It's a leading packaging industry, has about 140 plus facilities within across the United States. One of their biggest problems was tribal knowledge, not knowing how to troubleshoot, not having all these SOPs and work instructions in PDFs, not being able to access, not being able to easily and quickly access. I mean, it's our, so far has been our day-to-day, right? Even before digital MES or MES Lite came into our lives, making it a tad bit easier. If I had to look up a work instruction, I had to go walk to the front office or wherever that documentation cabinet is, open the book, find the work center, that's about 15-20 minutes time lost in translation. Whereas I could literally take my tab, type in the question I have, and AI give me that answer immediately. So what Georgia Specific did here is they indexed all of their knowledge, their troubleshooting manuals, troubleshooting data sets, all of that was in PDFs and white paper and so on into an AI system using it that was running on AWS. So SOPs and so on. What did that do? It cut down their downtime significantly. It cut down their quality issues significantly because now people were able to not read through ladder logic, read through an extensive 300, 400 page FANUC manuals, but type in the specific question, take a picture of what the problem was, and upload it into their Copilot. And the Copilot would come back and say, or ChatGPT in this case, come back and say, hey, looks like this is the specific problem you're looking at. This is what the manual says. Try to do this, and this. Maybe you'll get to your so on, and it would lead you to a focus location within a matter of seconds, or maybe a couple minutes, rather than spend an hour on manuals and so on. So that's how Georgia Specific used AI to their benefit to reduce their downtime, quality issues, increase their training efforts, to quality of training for their operators and so on. Next up is a maintenance team with CA3 or HVAC system, right? So this is again a company in the United States that manufactured HVAC or boilers for the country. So they have about 30 plus plants, 200 plus internal field engineers that are servicing these products across. They make industrial boilers apparently. So what they did, what the struggle was, every boiler came with 80 plus page manual. Reading through an 80 plus page manual, even for the customer or field technician who's not as experienced, one of the problems we spoke about is losing experienced people retiring at this stage, or really experienced people in leadership roles high up, that the new and incoming engineers and techs and service people are struggling to grasp the knowledge, right? So how did they solve this problem? They said, all right, let's index every manufacturing process or drawings and manuals into a C3 generative AI system. This is built again, I think, on AWS platform where all of their data was indexed, and an application was developed, a Copilot application was developed for the field service technicians to be held on their phone. Instead of going through, so how did they use it? Instead of going down and shifting through PDFs, manuals, and reading a lot of information before getting to, okay, this is what I'm looking for. It was a chat, right? You started typing in to our previous conversation. Hey, I'm having this problem with this boiler unit. It's not heating up, or the element looks bad, but how did the element go out in less than 3 hours or 4 hours of operation, just hypothetically speaking. But it shifts through historical data, it shifts through indexes through warranty information, drawing, DFMEA, PFMEA, SOPs, and so on, and says, hey, potentially look for this, and this defects in this, and if it is potentially this, that's probably your cause of failure. Do the root cause, find the root cause, validate the root cause, implement a corrective action, pull out. It reduced their potential total time of MTTR, or mean time to respond, by 90%. They were able to quickly improve their customer service or customer happiness index significantly. That in terms means a P&L impact, right? The happier your customers are, the higher the chances that they'll come back to you for buying more product or getting more product from you. And then this comes a BMW. I love this one. This is BMW is one of my favorite companies that works manufacturing automotive companies, and I look up to their innovation and stuff. So BMW uses twins, right? Factory twins or virtual twins to establish or do layout changes, establish new factories, or like I said, layout changes, simply putting it, for new models, LCIs, and so on. So one of their struggles previously, before they started using Gen AI, was the time it took to validate a layout change or a new addition of a building or a warehouse unit, or put a new AGV or something, and say, how does that impact my current state layout? Where are my collision points? Where are my overlay points? Where are my drops, data drops, power drops, and so on? So it took them about anywhere between 28 to 30 days to figure out all of this with a lot of engineering effort, right? So that's project cost, project planning cost, project managers involved in it, and all of this. They said, all right, let's see how AI can use it. I think in this case, they might have used Siemens, their Siemens, I don't remember, Redford, sorry. I'm trying to remember the software that Siemens uses on this. But yeah, they use Siemens to understand, okay, how can we reduce this time? So they started looking at AI systems that can actually do an analysis on visual mockups, right? Virtual mockups of how the layout change affects their current state layout, or new introduction of a machine, a burn table, a CNC machine, a crane, so on, right? That looking at the data reduce their total turnover time for that project, or implementation analysis time for that project, by 10 times, or here they went down from 28 to 3 days. That's significant for me, right? They now can use those 25 days to implement what they just found, rather than spend 25 days in analysis. That reduced their cost of project planning and cost of project implementation by 30%. That's a true P&L impact for me. That's where I think Gen AI actually should be used to make a difference in manufacturing and manufacturing principles. So let's look at how it affects service. Now, we spoke about manufacturing, we spoke about field service technicians. Now let's talk about actual service calls and so on. So North America Telco is a customer, is one of the telco companies that works on, that was struggling with, not struggling really, but that was looking at how to improve their customer service experience when they are picking up their phones and calling, hey, I have an issue, or I need this information, I need that information, right? Before AI, we all dealt with this not so smart answering systems where it just keeps going on in loop and loop because it doesn't know any better. It's limited to the logic and algorithm it is written to, right? So they were struggling with their customers had a little bit of frustration where they couldn't get the right answer the first time. They couldn't get the resolutions within the first call. They had to call back. They had to wait. They were getting frustrated. Their customer base was not that happy, right? So how did they solve the problem? They started looking at introducing AI chatbots, AI answering systems, self-service systems, so that the AI has access to all of their service data and has an intellectual conversation, an intelligent conversation, where it's not the same exact loop going back and forth. The tone changes, the data set changes, and finally it gets to the problem they're trying to address. What were the outcomes, right? The average handle time dropped down by 25%. The average call volume dropped down by 30%, so on. So how do you convert these metrics into P&L impact? Number of people needed to support the service department went down. The amount of time the existing people need to spend on a call to resolve something has gone down. All of that means they can handle more calls. They can be more customer friendly, customer oriented. Customer happiness index goes up significantly. Once again, going back to my previous point, the happier the customer, the better the chances of them coming back to the same company for solutions and concepts is higher, right? So these are the few ways that AI can be used in service industry. Let's talk about in simple terms for manufacturing and industrial situations, reiterating some of the points we spoke about previously. So for me, the best use case for AI, or high value impact for professionals, is how do I route this information effectively, right? Instead of sifting through a bunch of paperwork, how can I chat with something, talk to something that has indexable capabilities of all this information much quickly than a person can turn through pages? Can I take action items and notes from meetings like this, right? I mean, one of the things I'm trying to work on is how can I use Microsoft Copilot or use Copilot in Teams and say, I don't want to waste time splitting my focus between writing down notes while listening to 3, 4 people speaking, and so on. Let AI do it, right? Take those notes, come up with action items, and say, hey guys, these are the stuff you spoke in this meeting. This is the action items, and so on. Draft SOPs. So drafting SOPs on a small work basis where there are actions less than 3 or 4 is pretty easy. But once it comes to our industry, where you're building up silos, you're building up batch plants and huge forestry equipment, the work content is long. I mean, some of our takt times are 10 plus hours, right, per cell. So to capture all that information, to do time studies, to do SOPs and A3s for stuff like this is pretty time taking. What if I strapped a body camera, GoPro on a person that actually is performing the job, and an overhead camera to get a different perspective, maybe 2 different perspectives, and let AI draft an SOP for me. I go back, fact check in maybe 30 minutes and say, yeah, I'm done. While it's doing the analysis, while the cameras are recording, I do something else. So in simple terms, how can we use AI to make the best use of our engineering resources, our accountant resources, our planning resources? Less amount of actual grunt work, more amount of technical work, the skills we are paying for, right? That's where AI becomes more value in professional work. So let's look at how to actually get the right impact from AI. Step 1, right? Find what your problems are. Find where your bottlenecks or high resistance flows are, right? Do not look at AI as a toy that you can, again, chat is a good word to use, but do not use AI to have a conversation. Use AI where it has access to the data, right? Access enterprise support, but access to the data, and do a root cause analysis on it. Now start with that process, not the model itself. You found what your problems are, right? What your problem statement is. Now write a process or start designing a process where you introduce AI to actually help you get better, right? Now let's look at build up the data it needs. Any AI without the data, it's dumb, it's an infant, right? It grows to be an actual human being or digital human being, as I want to state it, the way we try to communicate with it, right? Is you need to feed it, you need to teach it, right? No different from us. We didn't just come out from our mother's womb and became manufacturing engineers or design engineers. We went through schooling. Yeah, same goes for AI. It takes us 20 plus years. It takes AI a few minutes of us just dumping all we know and all the data we have, right? Integrated with SOPs, manuals, CMMS data, and so on. Now start working with the end users, right? We manufacturing engineers for us are not the end users of SOPs, PFMEAs, or work instructions or standard set documents. Our operations department, those are our customers. So start working with them. We know what our problem is. Let's take an assumption. There are no SOPs. So workers are struggling to figure out how to do it right. The senior or experienced workers have retired and the new workers do not have that travel knowledge within them. So we built SOPs. So how do they like to use it? What is their skill set when it comes to using technology? Are they very pretty tech savvy? What kind of tools they're using on the floor and so on? So what is your end user trying to use? So work with them and design that specific tool. Now let's establish the metric and start tracking those metrics, right? Are we tracking your MTTR or FCR, AHT? What is it? Are you tracking your inventory costs? Are you tracking your cycle time? What is that metric you're trying to impact that you establish at step 2 or step 1? And how is that impacting you after this tool has been implemented? Now you implemented something that actually makes a P&L impact. You're tracking it and showing progress by stating, okay, I reduced my MTTR, I reduced my FCR, I improved my HT, I reduced my total inventory carrying cost, I improved my downtime or availability, I reduced my downtime, I improved my first pass yield or FTQ and reduced my scrap rate. And this is how I did it. Sell that story to your superiors, sell the metrics, sell the difference in metrics that you guys got, and then plan to reuse it and scale it for other departments, other facilities, other sites. Pilot, progress, pilot, sustain, prove, scale, right? That's a simple roadmap for how to implement and make an impact. Let's look at, we spoke about how AI can be helpful. Now here's the other side of the coin, right? There is a study out there. I'm sure I'm trying to remember the reference. This was a conversation between me and one of my coworkers, and funny, we both were referring to the same exact documentation, where a school, I don't remember the school name number. The students in the school started using ChatGPT to help with their homework, to help understand what the teacher was stating, how the lectures were going, summarizing the lectures, and so on. So they did a study on how the IQ levels have progressed from 2010 to 2025. The IQ levels have actually increased between 2010 to 2020, 21, and 2020 was a little of a drop because of all that COVID situation, but then picked up back again in 21, 22. And after 23, there has been a significant drop in that, right? And the question was, why is that drop? What happened there? What was that tipping point for? Why did the IQ actually drop? So they did research, they did some surveys and so on, and started realizing while in class, people were paying less attention to what the lecturer was saying, but more attention to what the ChatGPT or whatever tool they were using is capturing and letting it summarize the lecture notes, summarize the problem statement, summarize. They were using less of their brain to analyze, patternize, figure out how to do these things, and let AI tools to actually help them get to that state, right? That's a dangerous tipping point for our human beings. We need to use AI as a direction for us, and we need to use our own skill sets to make sure we are doing it right. I'll give you a very good example I faced at my own in my real life. Brand new engineer, fresh out of college, 5-6 months maybe. He was working on a root cause analysis, right? He came to me and said, Jay, looks like I found the problem to this. Okay, show me what your root cause, what your 5 why was. He said, hey, I took what I know and put it into ChatGPT or Copilot, and Copilot gave me this 5 why and the next steps I need to work on. Okay, show it to me. What's your problem statement? The problem was he was relying too much on the Copilot that he forgot how to do, or he did not realize his problem statement to begin with was not right. All his data he was putting in was circumstantial, never factual, right? So AI gave him exactly what he wanted to listen. So those are some of the risks that we are looking at in problem solving, in IQ drop, and skill set development issues. The other is enterprise data leakages, and also how do you control that, right? Set up your governance around your AI committee, right? How do you use it? How can you limit what AI can do for you, and can you limit how much can AI, so that you scale up your people side of the business, right? Business is people, right? Without people, businesses don't work. You need people to actually get stuff done. So how do you do that? Logging feedbacks, continuously monitoring what's coming out and going out of this AI tools, and so on. So those are some of the risks that are inherent, unavoidable risks. We just have to work our way around it and put governances and rules and regulations so that by using AI, we are not diminishing our own workforces, resources, skill set, and making their life too mundane, right? Keep challenging them, keep pushing them to learn and grow. All right, let's look at how we can implement everything we've spoken about so far in the next 60 to 90 days. Okay, let's look at this roadmap, right? I'm hoping we are all here to understand how we can use AI on a very high level, and go back to our work and say, let's see where I can implement it, right? So pick what are those high resistance workflows within your company. I don't know what your roles are in your company, but there's definitely something you can work on, right? Again, SOPs, capacity planning, SIOP planning, inventory cost carrying, maintenance, maintenance response times, maintenance breakdown times, and so on. So pick what your problem is. What is your key resistance point that your current workforce is not able to resolve? Find the metric you can make an impact to, the biggest metric that actually makes a P&L impact. Plan out a prototype on how you're going to resolve this using AI. Sell it, pitch it, get a pilot. Implement it and prove out your process in the next 7 to 12 weeks and say, this is a specific resistance point or bottleneck in our process or business that I'm trying to implement. This is the metric I picked. This is the tool I used to affect that metric. And this is the outcome of that tool's impact on that metric. My MTTR went down, my downtime went down, my availability went up. Prove that, prove your point, and move on to the next step where you can either scale it or migrate it to a new department or new discipline. Let's talk about some of the high impact users, right? The two most high impact users for any Gen AI is manufacturing and field service. When it comes to manufacturing, again, reiterating, summarizing what we just spoke about. Maintenance systems, CMMS systems, where this TPM is implemented, where it's tracking vibration data, current data, current pull data, temperature variations, fluctuations, ambience or not, and saying, hey, potentially this specific product or this specific component on this CNC might be failing in the next few weeks or so based on how the vibrations have been scaling, right? So do you have this part in your inventory, in your MRO crib or not? Okay, you don't have it. Hey, purchasing person, looks like this component is needed. Here's a maintenance job associated with it, and the maintenance guy will come contact you and so on, right? How do you use it to improve your manufacturing? How do you use it to improve your field service experience, right? Can you give AI access where the field service technician again is chatting rather than sifting to PDFs or having conversations with a digital entity to find the right tool to use, right problem, what that problem is, and so on. So those are the two biggest impacts I think we can make. Immediately, low cost of implementation, high output, right? So a few KPIs we can talk about that can help you pinpoint where you can actually use this and apply. Maintenance, MTTR, critical assets. Find what your critical assets in your process. I'm sure you're using triangles, red dots, yellow dots, whatever, and saying if this machine fails, man, the entire plant is going to go down until it comes back up. So find those critical assets and see how you can implement what is that specific metric for that critical asset you can bring down. Look at your production times, how to find SOPs. Can you drop down the SOP? We spoke about the effort it takes for an operator to find the SOP that he or she needs when they're working on a process. Stop your process, walk to the filing cabinet, pick the file, find the appropriate file, pick the file, read through the pages, find the page, and so on. That's anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. That's 10 to 20 minutes of production lost. Can you turn it into a tab on the process available for the operator where they are already accessing the MES system to say jobs and MES systems to say, find me this. How do I do this? I forgot about this. Can you tell me this? And gives you a 1-minute response immediately instead of doing all this physical process where your production time is being impacted. Quality documentation. How do drafting those A3's basics? Again, not doing root cause, drafting, helping you frame that problem statement. Communicating with your supplier with the A3 properly, communicating with your internal departments with the A3, tracking these A3s, tracking the closure of these A3s, tracking the ECOs associated with these A3s, ADs, and whatever, right? Call centers, again, this is customer service. Again, services centers is also customer service. Average handle time. You do not want to keep your customer on a phone call for long periods of time. They'd rather call you, tell their problem, you find the solution, tell them the solution, they go back doing their business, making money, right? How do you get that time down? The same goes for service. You don't want your customer waiting for your service guy, sitting over there while the machine's down, trying to sift through manuals or troubleshooting guides and drawings and so on. You want that service guy in there, out of there, and as quickly as possible. So how do you impact that first call resolution process? So these are the few KPI you can actually make an impact on using, right? The baseline is simply establish your baseline, what you're impacting, what metric, what process, how do you impact it, and then do a pilot, get your metric improving and move on to the next process. If you're not able to establish the metric you want or not able to change the metric you want, kill and move on. Do not waste your time on trying to prove out something that's not sticking to your giving you the result you need to get. All right. So that summarizes what I wanted to talk about AI use case in operations and service industry. Think about it, how you can make use of this conversation we had today. Implement it, go out there, do that implementation, use this conversation to help you implement that process or procedure on your floor and make an impact in your business. All right. Good luck with that. Here are some references where I did my case studies on. So that's all I have. Thank you very much. If you have any questions and answers, I'll be sticking around, post them, and I'll try to answer to the best of my knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jayant, for such an amazing session. I would like to request all the participants drop all your questions in the chat box as we are open for Q&A now. We still have a 10 to 15 minutes to cover the questions, so drop your questions right away. And meanwhile, I'll check if we got any question across live platform. Jayant? All right, I can see there's one question in the live. In your experience, which operational tasks have seen the highest efficiency gains from generative AI implementation?
So I can give you multiple examples. One of the best example I can give you is maintenance task. I'm going back to the TPM webinar I did or speech I gave, where an industry can use vibration data and so on to predict before something fails so that you have planned downtime rather than reactive downtime. So you have your plan, you have your parts, everything's there. You put the parts in, you move on, and so on. That's one example. The other I can give you when it comes to actually using Gen AI is for building SOPs and doing time studies, professional use of time, right? Manufacturing engineer, when he's doing or he or she is doing time studies, they have to capture, stay on the floor, take a piece of pen and paper, record every aspect of it, go back to the desk, do a VA and VA analysis, review the videos again, find the way to optimize it. Use AI to do that grunt work for you. Let it give you what the NVA VA is and give you the specific tags and timeline that says this is where the NVA is happening, this is where the NVA is happening, and speeding up the process of how many of these studies that manufacturing engineer or industrial engineer can actually do.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jan, for answering this one. Moving forward to the next question, we have got it from Prachi. She's asking, how do you balance automation of routine tasks with maintaining human oversight in manufacturing operations?
So that's where the governance committee and how you're going to use the AI comes into play, right? One of the things we are trying to do at Aztec that will help us maintain that human oversight is one, qualify your end user that they are good at what they do. As in, for example, for manufacturing engineers, we are pushing them through a lean certification program using our OpEx director. So we are with the idea is we'll only let them use Copilot for root cause analysis and so on after they have been through a certain level of certification process, silver, gold, platinum, or so on. By doing this, you're not giving a tool to a kid, you're giving a tool to somebody who knows how to do the stuff that the tool's already doing, and making sure the tool, whatever the tool is giving you, the AI is giving you, is actually making sense, right? Going back to one of the examples I just gave you during our presentation. So that's one of the ways you can implement governance and human oversight over AI.
Very well. Thank you so much, Jayant. Another question from Trevor. Thoughts on implementing agentic AI for efficiency but infringing on or eliminating traditional FTE roles?
Hmm. Sorry, can you define what FTE is? What do you mean by FTE?
Meanwhile, Trevor, can you elaborate what Jen just has asked? Meanwhile, we can take the another question. Edward is asking, how do you use Gen AI to facilitate effective accounting in manufacturing industry?
So this is where I think one of the projects I'm working on comes into play. Good question. CapEx, right? For any CapEx process, it ties into your accounting questions in manufacturing. You need a very robust front-end justification, implementation process, and back-end execution and ROI tracking. One of my ideas that I'm trying to work on is use AI to guide the engineers, the CapEx project leads, to understand, hey, what is the problem I'm trying to solve, and how do I solve it using CapEx money, right? How do I justify it right? One of the things that I'm facing right now that I constantly saw throughout my work experience is new and upcoming engineers and professionals are pretty excited when it comes to getting new technology and being innovative. I don't want to kill that. I want to enhance that. So helping them get a full-blown capsulation of how to do this P&L impact, how to calculate the standard labor costs, and how that translates to EBITDA, and so on, is where I'm trying to use AI to speed up, teach, coach, and also do some of the grunt work for them. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Um,
Jan. Yeah,
yeah.
can you see Trevor is saying full-time
Yes.
equivalent? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, all right, Trevor. One of my core principles is never use AI to eliminate any FTE roles. Right? AI is useful as a tool, but not replace people. That's one way our economy will pretty quickly be negatively impacted. So let's look at it a little differently. How can I use AI to improve the efficiency of the existing FTE roles and not need to add excess overhead in order to drive the cost of business up and potentially leading to a future layoffs and so on. So let's look at how can I use AI to improve the efficiency of these FTE roles, doing the grunt work of data analysis, pattern findings, document research, and so on, reduce the time they're spending on software and increase the amount of time they are spending on executing the work they're supposed to execute. That is the best way for me to use AI.
Thank you so much, Jayant. Any more questions, dear participants, you can drop here right away. Or also, I've already shared Jayant's LinkedIn profile link in the chat box. If you scroll up a little bit, you'll find it there. Feel free to reach out to him. I believe he's more than happy to help you all. And drop if you have any questions right away. And meanwhile, I would like to tell you all that we do have some great announcement for all of you. So stay connected till the end. And we are open to take questions.
Sorry, I thought the question answer was done already. Never mind. Any
No,
more
I
questions,
can't see
guys?
any moniker question. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I didn't put people to sleep, but good. Okay.
Okay, I think that's all. I don't see any question, Jayant. So I request all the participants, please feel free to reach out to him. I've already shared his LinkedIn profile link. I will share it again for your convenience.
Thank you.
So yes, Jen, before I take the handover of the mic, we would love to hear final thoughts from you for all our participants who joined us today for this session.
So first, I want to thank GSDC for providing me this opportunity and for people to attending this and putting their late hours or early hours into this and listening to my boring speech, hopefully not. So whatever we spoke about today, try the way I've structured it is so that you can actually take this and make an impact in your business, in your profession. Take this structure, take what you've heard today, go out there to your facilities, your industry, your business, and see what can you impact in the next 90 days and go do it. Let's drive that AI adoption up with a touch of human interface, right? Do not sacrifice humans in order to use AI. Use AI in conjunction with human beings so that we are being more productive, more useful to the economy in a global sense. So see what you can make an impact with. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Very thoughtful, Jen. Thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful thoughts with us. And definitely, it was another great session that you gave to GSDC. Thank you so much, and we'll be definitely looking forward to have more opportunities with you.
Looking
And we'll
forward
be
to it.
definitely reaching out to you for another session that we schedule, because we often have sessions on AI and we might need you for another session. So thank you so much for your time and being here. Thank you everyone for amazing question. And as I said that I have some quick announcements. So yes, here we are. So this is regarding the certifications that we have under generative AI and agentic AI. You can opt out for any of this certification using this promo code. So sorry. Okay, so you can use this promo code which is AI20 to get 20% off on any of the certification in case if you're opting out. So as you all know, these certifications are globally recognized certification that GSTC provides, and you'll be getting learning resources where you'll be getting a lot of case studies to work on, e-learnings and book of knowledge. These certifications are lifelong learnings which gives you learning flexibility also, and you'll be getting chance to connect with our training partner channel, and you'll be having a lot of opportunity to work on capstone project, that is something real time AI simulation practice. So do grab this opportunity and do sign up yourself for this certification: certified AI tool expert, certified generative AI professional, foundation, agentic AI professional and foundation. We have many more. If you check our website, you'll able to see all the information and all the certifications on our website. And if you need any assistance with this, feel free to reach out to a learning advisor to get help in order to take a look on this certification or more information. And also, this is regarding the utility tool. You can use this AUG100 as a code to get 100% off, which means completely free. And this is only for our webinar attendees. So this tool will help you to improve your LinkedIn profile score, your AI skills score. Also, it will help you to build your personal brand, and it will help you to build AI generated resumes. Just do check this tool. This is so amazing one. I'll share the link in the chat box shortly. And I'm very happy to make the another announcement that we'll be running this L&D case studies across industry, this series, the webinar series, which is started from 3rd November, and this is happening and continuing till 28th of November. So do join us, as we'll be having this session and these topics covering for the next week. And this is another webinar series that we have scheduled on ISO 42001 and ISO 27001 across industry, and we'll be covering all these topics. We have aligned amazing and expert speakers for this session as well, so do join us. And also, you all must be aware that we are running this AI implementation series, where we are providing live sessions, and our speaker, we have AI experts aligned for this series. They are providing live demo sessions with practical walkthrough for 30 minutes of demo session. So do join us, as they are covering almost all the AI tools that is present in the market right now. So I have already shared the registration link for each of these webinar along with the WhatsApp group link. If you join us over the WhatsApp group, you will get the daily update, and please register yourself, and also you can refer your friends and colleagues to this session, the upcoming ones. And we have these three winners who have referred maximum people to our this series, so let's congratulate to them. However, we'll be announcing all the final winners at the end of this series, so we'll be definitely getting back to them for the rewards, which is worth $400. So you still have a time to refer maximum people and be the winner. Top three winners will be featured on the GSDC Wall of Fame. So I would love to quickly show you all where you can see how many points that you have earned so far. If you allow me 1 minute, so I can quickly share my screen and show you the event web page. You just have to go to our website and just access to our event web page. So this is our ongoing webinar AI implementation series, and if you scroll down little bit here, you'll able to see the leaderboard legends. Exact under that you'll find the search bar. You can check your name and you can see how many points that you have earned. So you need to earn at least 50 or more than 50 points to be winner, and that's how you are eligible to get rewards, which is $400. So you can check all the points that you have earned so far accessing our event web page. And going back to the main slide. Alright, in case if you're seeking for opportunity to be as a speaker at GSTC, feel free to reach out to us, as we have a global platform like Learning Capsule, Webinar and Podcast. We would love to connect with you all over social media. You can scan this QR, connect with us on LinkedIn, check our website for more information regarding all the certifications that I've mentioned earlier. And you can connect with us over the WhatsApp group. As I mentioned that we do provide all the daily update on event, webinar and boot camps over the WhatsApp groups. And please do share your valuable feedback on the Trustpilot. You'll find the link in the chat box. And thank you so much for joining today's session. I hope to see you all for the upcoming session as well. Until then, take care of yourself. Thank you very much, Jayant. I'll see you again. Bye, everyone.